What's good, everyone? River here, and I am here with the team builder of week 2 of the PTL. This week, I'll be facing the St. James Slowbros and coach JGallade. Small note here, I have faced JGallade once in a tournament in which I lost, if I remember correctly, 2-0 or 3-0. Was a solid game with his spot, he's a very solid player, and I know I have to bring out the best in my team and in myself in order to beat him. For this week, we've got ourselves the following matchup. The Pokemon he has are Latios with Z-Crystal, Sylveon, Cobalion, Mandibuzz, Drapion, Gourgeist, Mega Kangaskhan without Estos, without Pup, Mesprit, Z-Kabutops, Politoed, Z-Pyroar, Z-Golduck. So, a lot of Z users, mainly lower cost Pokemon plus Latios, a small discount Raincore, which I will not discredit at all, and overall, a lot of solid Pokemon. They are generally bulky, have offensive capabilities, and put a lot of pressure on any team. These are the Pokemon that I'll be bringing, and I'll quickly be going over all of the sets. As you can see right off the bat, I am once again bringing Hawlucha, once again bringing a Swords Dance Dual Stab set, but instead of Substitute, I'm opting for Protect. This is simply to prevent Kangaskhan switching in every time, getting Fake Out off, and then switching out. Because that is, honestly, if I manage to get up Swords Dance, that is possibly his best bet at taking it out. Or at least taking it out after Hawlucha takes some chip from either Mesprit or a Mandibuzz, since I believe those are the only two Pokemon who can take a hit from +2 Hawlucha. I am expecting a Choppleberry Cobalion, which could also take hits, but Cobalion's best way to retaliate is probably Thunder Wave. So while that's going to be annoying, it's not something that I fear in particular. The speed on Hawlucha is there to outspeed Golduck, which at +2, due to rain, is his fastest Pokemon. So if I don't get paralyzed and if I do get the Abundant Boost, not even Rain Golduck can outspeed me, and I'm going to assume that if I bring in Hawlucha, it's not going to be a Latios with 2 Dragon Dances, it's not going to be, Rock Polish Cobalion. Even though I think it is an option, I'm not particularly afraid of it. I don't feel like I have to outspeed it with Hawlucha, because once again, unless he also sets up a Swords Dance, I am not particularly afraid of its offensive capabilities, because its dual stab is both resisted. Besides that, I was also considering Poison Jab, but realized I am quite a nitwit, because with the calc, Misty Seed was still calced in even with Misty Terrain up, so Idleness Acrobatics does more, and that's just me rambling on about how brilliant I am. With that, we're also going to bring Tapu Fini, of course. If we bring Hawlucha, we bring Tapu Fini, that is a staple. This time a Spadef variant with Dual Stab, Taunt, and Substitute. This is my main answer to his special attackers, specifically the Rain special attackers. So Politoed, Golduck, and to a lesser extent Pyroar and Sylveon. The one special attacker I can't wall is a electric coverage move Latios, and I would not be surprised to see a Thunder Latios, whether it's regular or Z Thunder. Most likely paired it with Calm Mind is a very common way to counteract Tapu Fini. I can confirm this from experience, as I had Tapu Fini in a different league, had to face any form of any Lati like 5 times total in the season, and 4 of them brought Thunder or Z Thunder. So I would not be surprised to see it here again. The special defense, as I said, it's for the water, the Rain Sweepers. Originally I had Calm Mind instead of Taunt. I'm going to be talking a lot about things I considered Rain, but ended up dropping. But I feel that Calm Mind would just be overkill, because the only time I'm going to click it is if I'm in an advantage state already. And at that point I shouldn't be pushing it with Tapu Fini, because Tapu Fini is not exactly a win condition. Leftovers on themselves also speak for themselves, I feel. Just having some passive recovery is very good, especially on a bulky Pokemon like Fini. And I could have opted for Surf over Hydro Pump, but I believe I need Hydro Pump to 2-hit KO Khan if it's offensive. Maybe 2-hit KO. I think it's actually for the 3-hit KO on Mesprit. There was some rules for which Hydro Pump was just useful. And even though there's a solid chance to miss, I am willing to take that risk right off the bat. with that in mind, let's go into Kartana. Kartana is going to be a bulkier Choppleberry variant, so it can be my dedicated check to Kabutops, it can be a check to Cobalion, and it can be a check to a non-Fire Punch Mega Kangaskhan. The speed is there to outspeed said Khan, and the attack is some. Don't miss out on any important KO, such as I think it was a 2-hit KO on a offensive Mega Kangaskhan, even though I would not be surprised to see some bulk. It still OHKOs his water types. Smart Strike should still OHKO a offensive Sylveon, as in not fully physically offensive, but more like max HP, max special attack. And the Choppleberry, the specific HP investment is there, so I can live either 2 superpowers from Kabutops, or a +2 superpower, or I can live Fake Out plus Brick Break from Mega Kangaskhan. Those are the calcs that I've taken into account. I don't think there was anything. I could have checked for Cobalion, but if he wants to take out Kartana with Cobalion, he is going to be running a Hidden Power Fire set. In which case, Hawlucha cares less about it, but the main goal against Cobalion would be to get rid of its Chop Hole, and I'm willing to sacrifice Kartana for that if it comes down to that, because even though Hawlucha is my win con, Cobalion is the one thing on his team that can stop both of my win cons. Also defog on it, because I have a couple of items that I need to have preserved. Well, I say items, but let's consider them win conditions. There aren't exactly win conditions, but there are certain conditions I need preserved, and for that I need defog. The first one being the Lord and Savior Trapinch. I have decided that Trapinch actually has a role in this matchup, and while it may not seem like it's as huge as I'm going to make it, I think it's going to be very important that Trapinch is here for this matchup. The first thing is obviously Arena Trap. It forces your opponent to play differently. It forces them to not stay in with Pokemon that has U-turn or Baton Pass because they don't want to get trapped. Think Drapion. Drapion cannot just stay in on anything. It needs to pivot. Pyro needs to pivot. Kabutops needs to attack. If Kabutops clicks Soul Stance and I switch to Trapinch, if he does not get the flinch with Waterfall, he is gone. But those three are the three I just mentioned are the ones that Trapinch can actually one-shot. It can also 2-hit KO the Latios with Crunch. Obviously the previous three all got one-shotted by the Earthquake. And I believe Crunch is also a 2-hit KO on a especially defensive Mesprit, or, you know, again, max HP, max special attack. Besides that, it does Toxic. Toxic is there to deal with the more bulky Pokemon, or the ones that Trapinch can't kill, or in a rare occasion, avoid Sucker Punches from Kangaskhan. So that's mainly for Gurguys, it's there for Mandibuzz, because Mandibuzz just ignores the earlier 2 attacks. It might be useful in Sylveon if I feel that I can't switch it out to sack something else and it just happens to click Wish, anything along those lines. And Feint lastly, Feint is there mainly just to be a nuisance due to its priority. I could have opted for Quick Attack, sure, but with Quick Attack I would still be outsped by the likes of Mega Kangaskhan's Sucker Punch, by Sylveon's Quick Attack if it for some reason has it, and I believe it's kind of lacking, that besides that he doesn't have much priority. But at least with my Feint, I would be able to outspeed those and get some chip on something. Mainly there if the Pokemon that I try to trap has a Focus Sash, but if that's not the case, then whatever, basically. It's a filler move. I didn't have anything else, and I think Feint could potentially come clutch. Next up, we have another newcomer for my lineup, or at least Pokemon making its debut, that is the Tyranitar. I've opted for Stealth Rock simply because it would help my Hawlucha a ton, giving it more leverage over the likes of Mandibuzz and Mesprit. And besides that, it is a secondary win con with DD, Crunch, and Earthquake. This is another Pokemon where I had originally considered something else, which was, instead of Crunch, I originally had Stone Edge, but I felt that allowing myself to be walled by Mandibuzz is more acceptable than allowing myself to get walled by something else. There was something else, something that walled me when I didn't have Crunch, but I'm not entirely certain what. I think it may have been Mesprit actually being able to take 2, but I don't think that's actually true. Point being is, with this set I feel more comfortable, and I changed my speed as well back from my original set, but it doesn't matter. Right now it has enough speed that outspeeds Latios if I go to +1, assuming it's not Scarfed. The rest is well, max attack and a remainder in HP, just to have a little bit of extra bulk because I don't need special attack. Pasha Berry is there so that just in case I have to deal with rain, it can come in. Even though I am now considering to change the Pasha Berry up to something else, maybe a... I have no idea what. If I decide to change it, you'll see it at the start of the battle before it even begins. But with that, I feel that Tyranitar could be a potential sweeper, but in worst case scenario, it depends on the Pokemon he brings, obviously. Worst case scenario, he's a rocker. Best case scenario, he sets up one Dragon Dance and he annihilates his entire squad. And the last Pokemon to try to enable those both Tyranitar and Hawlucha from sweep will be Galvantula. Very similar once again to last week, very offensive with Sticky Web's dual step, and this time opting for Thunder Wave instead of what I had last time. I believe it was in Power Water. Thunder Wave, I originally had Volt Switch here, now I have Thunder Wave just to be annoying to the likes of Latios, to the likes of Cobalion, the likes of a Kabutops. No, I would never click it on Kabutops, to be honest. I would click Thunder on Kabutops every single time. But there are a couple of Pokemon on this team that I may want to slow down, and I'm willing to go for that option rather than having the option to get momentum. Because I feel that my team, even though it's not squishy, it doesn't want to switch in often on things, it wants to keep the offensive pressure. And while momentum would help with that, I feel that fast momentum would be detrimental to that. I prefer slow momentum users, and even though Galvantula, I will obviously bring it at some point with Volt Switch, probably multiple times. But I feel in this matchup, I would prefer Galvantula to stay in, take a hit, and click Thunder Wave. So that is basically it. We've got ourselves a couple of support Pokemon here, potentially Tyranitar. Kartana I would refer to it as support here, and the main goal is to set up either Hawlucha or Tyranitar to go for that sweep. And with that, that will be the team builder for this week. Tune in tomorrow for the battle, and I hope to see you guys there.